Welcome, all my Squid Game players. I see some of you already. I see some of you are ready to play.
Monster Mark.
Monster Mark. Oops, that is the wrong song. Don't listen to that song. That is a Christmas song. It is not Christmas. That is a Christmas song. Do not listen to that song. It's not Christmas. It's Halloween.
Oh my.
Welcome, my pretties. Welcome indeed. Welcome to the Magical Movement Tour. I am Monster Mark. And I heard that you want to stop 20 million child sex abuse reports on Facebook. You can't do it. The only way you do it is by exercising and stretching, doing yoga. You can't do yoga for 2 hours. You need to come together. Come together to prevent sex abuse reports on Facebook. That's what you need to do. But the problem is, you can't do it. If you think you can do it, you are wrong. You are wrong. I will give you one opportunity to try and defeat Monster Mark. If you want an opportunity, today is that opportunity. It is time. It is time to play the Magical Movement Tour. Turn on your cameras and start stretching. You know you can't defeat me. You know you can't defeat me. You're trying to protect little children. Try all you want. We have some interesting fellows here today. Interesting indeed. We have a cheerleader. A cheerleader! A cheerleader thinks she can stop me. We've got someone that looks like he's from the 1950s. We've got Axel Foley. Axel Foley is here. Everybody's going to be grooving. There's someone roaming around in a park trying to protect kids. Such a magical time of year. In case you're just joining us, this is You think you can stop this 20 million child sex abuse reports on Facebook? You think you can stop this by dancing around? You think you can stop this as a group? As members of society? You can't stop this. You might think you can. At least you guys look good doing it. These people today are trying to dance. Trying to dance. Trying to dance and move to prevent child sex abuse reports on Facebook and all social media. What will you do to stop it? Besides nothing. And sorry about the music selection. We're a little bit limited. We have to respect copyright rules and whatnot. Damn social media. We have some very, very interesting people with us here today. Very interesting indeed. That young man is out at the park trying to prevent abuse reports. And that looks like a race car driver in his blue and green outfit, prancing around, trying to stop this. We've got several different people from several different walks of life wanting to stop this. Don't you guys know you can't stop this? If you try, you will only fail. If the audience wants to get involved, you can get involved too by liking this live stream. You can like this live stream to try and prevent it. But you will never stop it. You will not stop it indeed. You try. Try, and try again. 81%. 81% increase over 2019 to 2020. An 80% increase. Those children. Those children. That's what they'll say. Those poor little children. Online exploitation. CSAM! Child sex abuse material. Trafficking. And online enticement. Up about 80% from 2019. What will you do? You can't do anything about it. You can't dance your way out of this. You can't dance your way out of this, petty humans. Some of you have signs. You have signs. What does your sign say there, Greg's iPad? Come closer to the come closer to the camera, petty human. Thanks for your support. Stop it! Stop it! I can't have this. Support? Support? Ah. Support. You think that will get you out of this? Well, we will see there, petty humans. Here's a little support from the non-profit that's bringing you this event. This is one of their little volunteers trying to protect children. Trying.
Hi there, I'm Kristen. I've been volunteering for Defend for almost 6 months now as a sound designer for our upcoming app called 65 Square, and I love it. This is a really important experience for me because I get to use my skills to help others, which isn't as commonly found when it comes to music and sound production. But what I've noticed on this team is that everyone is so passionate about making all of our media production so secure and so well executed that every facet, including sound, it needs to be conceptualized by a mind that is meticulous and, more importantly, really caring for our grander goal of this whole project. So on that note, I'm really looking forward to accomplishing a space in the internet where, users can exercise all of the great capabilities of the internet, but, so to speak, risk-free. And that they can trust in us almost as if they're at home within their own device. So yeah, this is a great thing to be a part of, and I want to thank you, Defend, for giving me this opportunity.
Little Kristen from Defend trying to protect children and vulnerable people online. That is amazing. But what can you do as a viewer? As a viewer of this live stream? You can be sitting there on your fat bottom, girl. Sitting there doing nothing. Doing nothing. And, I have a challenger. Olivia Newton-John? Olivia Newton-John, unmute yourself. A little bit crazy, you say? You say I'm crazy? Are you thinking that I'm crazy? That Facebook made $68 billion last year? $68 billion! $68 billion! While trying to have child sex abuse reports prevented. There was no prevention. There was no prevention while they were making billions of dollars in profit. There was only gobble them all up and let's take over everything in mind. You want to try and move? Move at home. Move that like button. Donate on the live stream if you want to support this petty little non-profit. Mr. Henry Gordon there. Mr. Henry Gordon, it looks like you're doing a bit of strenuous exercise there. Put yourself on unmute for a moment and come and tell us a little bit about yourself, Henry Gordon.
I'm a graduated theater student from the University of Lethbridge. I joined Defend in order to help the Defend podcast team in order to help use my skills in art to help make the world a better place by helping protect children online and raising awareness of it.
I see. I see. So what is your costume here, Henry?
I was going for a cool guy outfit from the 50s, 60s, maybe 70s or 80s. Similar to, I don't know, I was thinking maybe the Fonz.
I see. Well, ayo, OA. Make sure you don't overdo it. You don't want to die. Everybody that is doing any kind of strenuous activity today should be making sure you're taking care of yourself. Drinking lots of water. Making sure that you're not passing out. And if you are watching at home, make sure you're sharing this live stream with everyone that you know, even your dog. Your little dog too.
Bring a torch, come swiftly and run. Christ is born to the folk of the village. Jesus is sleeping in his cradle. How beautiful is a mother. How beautiful is her son. Hasten now, good folk of the village, hasten now, the Christ out to see. You will find him asleep in the manger, quietly come. Whisper softly, hush, hush, peacefully now he slumbers, hush, hush, peacefully now he sleeps. Hasten now, good folk of the village, hasten now, the Christ out to see. You will find him asleep in the manger, quietly come. Whisper softly, hush, hush, peacefully now he slumbers, hush, hush, peacefully now he sleeps, hush, hush, peacefully now he slumbers, hush, hush, peacefully now he sleeps, hush, hush, peacefully now he slumbers, hush, hush, peacefully now he sleeps, hush, hush, peacefully now he slumbers, hush, hush, peacefully now he sleeps, hush, hush, peacefully now he slumbers, hush, hush, peacefully now he sleeps.
Yeah, we need to work on our budget for the music. Otherwise, Everyone looks so pretty. Trying to protect children online. We just heard from someone from this non-profit Defend, Kristen. She said she was working on a little project. I've heard about this project. 65 Square. It's some kind of social media app that's being built right now. Very, very interesting. Don't you know you can't compete with Facebook? You can't prevent any of this. Or can you?
There were over 20 million reports of child sex abuse on Facebook in 2020. We want to make this a thing of the past. Welcome to 65 Square. We're building a social media site and a family of apps that will have safety and security for all at its core. After verifying your identity when logging in, you might notice something a little odd. A timer counting down to kick you off every single day. To do more. Health is behind every choice we're making in the development process. Not only your health, but the health of the environment. Don't you want to do more? Meet a date at the racetrack or connect with new friends. Speaking of making connections, all adults will be able to see all of the other adults on the system who allow it. Go to their virtual home, which would be represented by their homepage on other social sites. Children will have a special place on our system, not accessible by adults they don't know. They also won't have access to certain adult features. We're giving away a virtual plot of land to everyone, 65 square meters to be exact. You'll be able to build your home in the city, on a mountain, or by the beach. Inside your home will be the intricacies of who you are as a person. Go into your kitchen to access your cooking groups. Your media room might have your personal videos you want to share on your family and friends' feeds. As there will be no advertising from us on our system, there will be no need to track you or harvest your personal data to sell back to you. Interested in shopping? 65 Square will embrace a healthy online economy which will offer businesses and creators the ability to have virtual stores where they can build the look of those stores however they wish. You, as a patron, will have the ability to communicate in real time with all other verified users on the system, looking at the same products at the same time. Ask an opinion, or offer real-time reviews to someone you've never met before. Our system of trust will take buying online to the next level. With age and ID verification built in from the ground up, pretty much anything is possible. From online dating to digital movie theaters and conferences, the sky's the limit. All while protecting your private documents. And there's just one more thing. Everyone on our system will get paid an equal share of 1% of all the e-commerce transactions happening in our digital marketplace. Every single sale from businesses you know and love, from all persons on our platform, will pool together, and that 1% will be given back to everyone, equally. This could easily make the small investment of $20 or $30 per year for our service nearly free. We aren't a big tech company looking for profits for our shareholders. We're actually a not-for-profit organization, and we have a large, talented team building this platform right now. We can't do this without you. We need to put an end to the sharing of child sex abuse materials, scammers, and online bullying. Now is the time to invest. Let's show the world we want a safer, healthier internet with online accountability.
Sounds very promising, Defend, with your little social media app. Age and identity verification for everyone. You know what they'll say, right? They'll say you can't do it without giving up your information to Big Brother. To Big Brother! Big Brother already has enough information on you. And Big Brother, Big Brother! Big Brother, that's not the problem you need to worry about. Your data is taken every single day that you have an electronic device, and it's sold to advertisers to have a free experience on social media. Us in the tech company like to say, oh, that's the price you pay. Did you know? Did you know the value of you? Someone here in North America was $51 for a period of 3 months. $51 was your value. Your value to Facebook just last quarter. How does that make you feel? It must make you feel good. It must make you feel expensive. $51. That's no small chunk of change. $51. That's the price that someone in North America, just for one business quarter, according to Facebook. How does that make you feel? They're doing that to children too, your child, because they know. They know that your child is on Facebook. They know and they don't care. We have some very, very interesting people here today. I wonder if any of them fall into this category of kids 9 to 12. 45% of kids 9 to 12 say they use Facebook daily. 45%. 45%. It looks like you guys are getting your workout done for today. Yes, Mila on the live stream says, make sure you like the stream. Kamal is sending her love to Kristen. Mortiza says thanks to everyone who tries to defend children. They can't defend. Or can they? Tazrun21 says sick shades. Tazrun also says respect to whoever is planking. You guys think you can stop this? You think you can stop it? Can't ya? I don't think you can, but we'll see. There's people out there. There, on YouTube, there has been a $210 donation. $210 from Mohid. Thank you, Mohid. It is very kind of you. Mohid says, thank you to Defend for everything it is doing to make social media safer for vulnerable people and children. Mohid, I can say it's people like you that are going to try and stop me. Thank you, Mohid, from Defend. There is some very, very interesting characters. Very, very interesting characters indeed here. Deanna. Deanna is stretching away. Stretching away. She's doing some yoga. That's the point of today, I guess, is to stay active by doing something, to do something about this problem. A push of endurance. Monster Mark doesn't like endurance because I know that nothing can be done about these 20 million child sex abuse reports on Facebook platforms. 20 million. 20 million child sex abuse reports on Facebook platforms last year alone. How does that make you feel? Greg's iPad, how does that make you feel? Come closer, Greg's iPad, and turn your mute off. How does that make you feel, Greg's iPad?
It makes me quite offended. However,
Do you have any
I'm in
children?
it for the right reasons.
Do you have any children or grandchildren, Greg's iPad?
I'm involved for my grandchildren, Riley, Evelina, Ashton, and Harley, so that their future can be a little bit more secure.
Very noble, Greg's iPad. And it looks like you're in pretty good shape, too. What happened to your race car outfit?
Oh, that was 2 pounds of sweat ago.
2 pounds of sweat. Just imagine what those 20 million kids felt last year. A little sweat won't hurt anybody, will it, Greg?
No, sweat won't hurt. Some of the rest of the stuff does.
Thank you for your support, Greg.
You're welcome.
And for the rest of you, you think you can do something about this like Greg? We have some people with their cameras off. Valerie. What are you doing there, Valerie? It looks like you're in some kind of tropical paradise, living the lavish life with palm trees. Valerie, that is very nice of you to exercise with us today. And that's all you have to do, is you have to get active. You have to be active to do something about this. You can't just sit on your cans. Like the bottom cans, not the top cans. Malia! Malia! You are in a cheerleader's outfit, aren't you? Thank you to everybody commenting on YouTube, the live stream. Thank you for your support to try and stop child sex abuse reports. 20,307,216 just on Facebook platforms last year alone. Do you know how many there were on other platforms? Because that wasn't the only place you could find child sex abuse reports online last year. There were 546,704 child sex abuse reports on Google platforms. That includes YouTube. Just last year alone. 15,324 child sex abuse reports on Discord just last year. And Match Group. Match Group has been busy hooking up people. You know Match Group because you know Tinder, an adult dating site, freely available on the App Store. There were 3,387 child sex abuse reports last year alone on adult dating sites. They know that children are actually on there, and they do nothing about it. On Snapchat, Snapchat! The place where it's thought you can send and receive nudes without any risk. We all know that's a lie. 144,095 child sex abuse reports on Snapchat just last year alone. And don't get me started about Pornhub and its owner MindGeek. Here in Canada, MindGeek, the owner of Pornhub and several other adult pornography websites. 13,229 child sex abuse reports just last year alone. Several of those have turned into a lawsuit. A lawsuit with over 50 people joining this lawsuit. Some of them have already been settled. Millions of dollars just being doled out by this porn company. 13,000 child sex abuse reports on pornography websites. And Omegle, where you can video chat with a random stranger in 2 clicks. 2 clicks! That's all it takes, is 2 clicks. This is Omegle's website. It says you must be 18 or 13 with parental permission. Don't they know that mostly what you can find on here is people getting naked, wanting to chat with strangers, and all you have to do is click on this button right here. Oh, this is new. I have to verify that I'm over 13. And then I'm chatting. There were 20,265 child sex abuse reports last year alone. 20,000. Just on Omegle. If this is okay with you, then do nothing at all. And I'm betting you'll do nothing. I'm betting most of you will do nothing. Because you don't care. But some of you care about this issue, as evidenced by the people on this live stream here today. Alex is saying hello. Sharia is saying hello. Kamal is saying hello. All on YouTube. Yao is saying hello. Watching from different parts of the world. Okti is saying hello. Mohid is saying hopefully the petition signatures can help bring real change in North America and around the world. If you don't know, Defend has undertaken a hard copy petition that they are circulating around Canada right now. Almost 1,000 people have signed it. In just over 24 hours. In just over 24 hours. These are people that think that they can do some kind of change, that they can prevent these child sex abuse reports from happening again and again and again. Well, maybe. But I do know that there is some action being taken, at least in the United States. In the United States, the US Senate has been grilling Facebook, grilling them. Just a few weeks ago, there was a whistleblower that came forward, an employee from Facebook. Fancy that. Well, this whistleblower has blown it all open. These are some of the highlights from some of that whistleblower's hearing.
We're here today because Facebook has shown us, once again, that it is incapable of holding itself accountable. This month, a whistleblower approached my office to provide information about Facebook and Instagram. Thanks to documents provided by that whistleblower, as well as extensive public reporting by the Wall Street Journal and others, we now have deep insight into Facebook's relentless campaign to recruit and exploit young users. We now know, while Facebook publicly denies that Instagram is deeply harmful for teens, privately, Facebook researchers and experts have been ringing the alarm for years. In August, ahead of this hearing, Senator Blackburn and I wrote to Mark Zuckerberg and we asked, as you can see from this poster board, quote, has Facebook research ever found that its platforms and products can have a negative effect on children's and teens' mental health or well-being, such as increased suicidal thoughts, heightened anxiety, unhealthy usage patterns, negative self-image, or other indications of lower well-being, end quote. Facebook's response was, quote, we are not aware of a consensus among studies or experts about how much screen time is too much. Facebook knows. It knows the evidence of harm to teens is substantial and specific to Instagram. In new, previously undisclosed documents provided by the whistleblower, making them available now through these quotes, we know that its own comprehensive internal review indicated that Facebook employees found, and I quote, substantial evidence suggests that experiences on Instagram and Facebook make body dissatisfaction worse, particularly viewing attractive images of others, viewing filtered images, posting selfies, and viewing content with certain hashtags. It was Facebook's own employees making a formal finding based on their research. In our August letter, we also asked, quote, has Facebook ever found that child or teenage users engage in usage patterns that would indicate addictive or unhealthy usage of its platforms or products? End quote. Facebook didn't even bother to respond directly and pointed us to a previous evasion. Facebook researchers have concluded that teens, quote, have an addict's narrative about their use. Have an addict's narrative about their use. Another survey, also not disclosed publicly, found that, quote, over 1/3 of teens felt they have, quote, only a little control or no control at all over how Instagram makes them feel. There is a teenage mental health crisis in America. After years of decline, starting in 2007, the suicide rate for young people has begun to skyrocket. The suicide rate for 10 to 14-year-olds has doubled. For young girls, it has quadrupled. Instagram didn't create this crisis, but from the documents provided by the whistleblower, clearly Facebook's own researchers described Instagram itself as a, quote, perfect storm. That, and I quote again, exacerbates downward spirals. Facebook knew it was a perfect storm through Instagram that exacerbates downward spirals. My office did its own research. We created an Instagram account identified as a 13-year-old girl and followed a few easily findable accounts associated with extreme dieting and eating disorders. Within a day, its recommendations were exclusively filled with accounts that promote self-injury and eating disorders. That is the perfect storm that Instagram has fostered and created. We will now turn to our witness, Ms. Antigone Davis, who is the global head of safety at Facebook. She spearheads Facebook's Safety Advisory Board efforts, and she earned her JD from the University of Chicago Law School and her BA from Columbia University. Ms. Davis, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman Blumenthal, Ranking Member Blackburn, and distinguished members of the subcommittee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. My name is Antigone Davis. I'm a parent, a former teacher, and the global head of safety at Facebook. Like you, I care deeply about the safety and well-being of young people online. And I have dedicated the better part of my adult life to these issues. In my current role, I work with internal teams and external stakeholders to ensure that Facebook remains a leader in online safety, including issues of bullying and combating child exploitation. This is some of the most important work that I have done in my career, and I'm proud of the work that my team does every day. At Facebook, we take the privacy, safety, and well-being of all those who use our platform very seriously, especially the youngest people on our services. We work tirelessly to put in place the right policies, products, and precautions so they have a safe and positive experience. We have dedicated teams focused on youth safety, and we invest significant resources in protecting teens online. We also know that we can't do this work alone. We work closely with experts and parents to inform the features we develop. We require everyone to be at least 13 years of age on Facebook and Instagram. When we learn that an underage user has created an account, we remove them from our platform. When it comes to those between 13 and 17, we consult with experts to ensure that our policies properly account for their presence, for example, by age-gating content. We work constantly to improve safety and privacy protections for young people. For example, earlier this year, we announced that all users under 16 in the US will now be defaulted into a private account when they join Instagram. We also think it is critical to give parents and guardians the information, resources, and tools they need to set parameters for their children and help them develop healthy and safe online habits. That's why we publish a variety of guides and portals intended to foster important conversations around online safety. And we're fortunate to do all this work with the help of industry experts, including our youth advisors, a group of experts in privacy, youth development, psychology, parenting, and youth media. We understand that recent reporting has raised a lot of questions about our internal research, including research we do to better understand young people's experiences on Instagram. We strongly disagree with how this reporting characterized our work, so we want to be clear about what the research shows and what it does not show. The research showed that many teens say that Instagram is helping them with hard issues that are so common to being a teen. In fact, one of the main slides referenced in the article includes a survey of 12 difficult and serious issues, like loneliness, anxiety, sadness, and eating disorders. We asked teens who told us that they were struggling with these issues whether Instagram was making things better, worse, or having no effect. On 11 of the 12 issues, teen girls who said they struggled with those issues were more likely to say that Instagram was affirmatively helping them, not making it worse. That was true for teen boys on 12 of 12 issues. I want to be clear, I'm not diminishing the importance of these issues or suggesting that we will ever be satisfied if anyone is struggling on our apps. That's why we conduct this research, to make our platform better, to minimize the bad and maximize the good, and to proactively identify where we can improve. And the most important thing about our research is what we've done with it. We've built AI to identify suicide content on our platform and rapidly respond with resources. We've launched tools to help control time spent on our apps. We've built a dedicated reporting flow for eating disorder-related content, and we offer resources when people try to search for it. We have a long track record of using our internal research, external research, and close collaboration with experts to improve our apps and provide resources for people who use them. And our work to respond to this research is ongoing. One idea we think has promise is finding opportunities to jump in if we see people dwelling on certain types of content and point them toward content that inspires and uplifts them. Finally, I want to speak to our work on Instagram experience for those under 13. As every parent knows, when it comes to kids and tweens, they're already online. We believe that it is better for parents to have the option to give tweens access to a version of Instagram that's designed for them, where parents can supervise and manage their experience, than to have them lie about their age to access a platform that wasn't built for them, or rely on an app's ability to verify the age of kids who are too young to have an ID. That's why we've been working on delivering age-appropriate parent-supervised experiences, something YouTube and TikTok already do. But we recognize how important it is to get this right, and we have heard your concerns, which is why we announced that we are pausing the project to take more time. We'll keep listening to parents, keep talking with policymakers and regulators like yourselves, keep taking guidance from experts, and we'll revisit this project at a later date. There's an important part of what we've been developing for Instagram Kids that we won't be pausing: supervisory tools for parents. We'll continue our work to allow parents to oversee their children's accounts by offering these tools to teen accounts on Instagram. These new features, which parents and teens can opt into, will give parents tools to meaningfully shape their teen's experience. As a parent, this development means a lot to me. I know I would have truly appreciated more insight and tools to help me support my daughter and manage her online experience as she learned how to navigate social media. I want to thank you for the opportunity to discuss these important issues with you today and answer your questions. Youth safety and well-being are areas where we are investing heavily, and we welcome productive collaboration with lawmakers and elected officials. Thank you, and I look forward to our discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. We both know, all of us know as parents, how vulnerable teens are at this age, how they can succumb to eating disorders, even to suicidal tendencies, and how susceptible they are. So the effects known to Facebook of its site in condoning and even encouraging those tendencies is so deeply repugnant. Facebook knows from its own report, undisclosed previously, that it found in December 2020 a survey of over 50,000 Facebook users that, quote, teens, women of all ages, and people in Western countries experience higher levels of both body image concerns and problems with appearance comparison on Instagram. In an April 2021 report, which also has not been disclosed, it found a quarter of teen girls felt discouraged about their own life and worse, about themselves, often or very often after using Instagram. Another undisclosed report, March 2020, found, quote, social comparison is worse on Instagram, and, quote, in part because its recommendations, quote, enable never-ending rabbit holes, and because it, quote, perceived as real life. I don't understand, Ms. Davis, how you can deny that Instagram isn't exploiting young users for its own profits.
I'd like to speak specifically to this as an experienced mom of a teenage daughter, as someone who was a teenage girl herself, and as someone who's taught middle school and teenage girls. I've seen firsthand the troubling intersection between the pressure to be perfect, between body image and finding your identity at that age. And I think what's been lost in this report is that, in fact, with this research, we found that more teen girls actually find Instagram helpful. Teen girls who are suffering from these issues find Instagram helpful than not. Now, that doesn't mean that the ones that aren't important to us. In fact, that's why we do this research.
Well,
It's
if I may
leading to
interrupt
product
you, Ms.
changes,
Davis,
the ability.
these are your own reports. These findings are from your own studies and your own experts. You can speak from your own experience, but will you disclose all of the reports, all of the findings? Will you commit to full disclosure?
Well, I know that Senator, thank you. I know that we have released a number of the reports, and we are looking to find ways to release more of this research. I want to be clear that this research is not a bombshell. It's not causal research. It's in fact just directional research that we use for product changes.
This research is a bombshell. It is powerful, gripping, riveting evidence that Facebook knows of the harmful effects of its site on children, and that it has concealed those facts and findings. So I ask you to commit that you will make full disclosure, all of the thousands of pages of documents that the whistleblower has and more.
We are looking for ways to release more research. There are privacy considerations that we need to take into place. But I think more importantly, we're actually also looking for ways to give external researchers access to data so that they can do independent research.
You haven't provided that access to researchers. You've refused to make it available to independent experts and researchers. In your remarks, you say, quote, "We think it is important to help provide parents and guardians the information, resources, and tools they need," end quote. I want to talk about one major source of concern for parents. They are Finstas. Finstas are fake Instagram accounts. Finstas are kids' secret second accounts. Finstas often are intended to avoid parents' oversight. Facebook depends on teens for growth. Facebook knows that teens often are the most tech savvy in the household, that they need or they would like to have critical ways, Facebook would like to have critical ways to acquire new, older users. But Facebook also knows that nearly every teen in the United States has an Instagram account. It can only add more users as fast as there are new 13-year-olds. So what Facebook has done is Finstas. In multiple documents, Facebook describes these secret accounts as, quote, a unique value proposition, end quote. It's a growth strategy, a way to boost its monthly active user metric. So Facebook claims it's giving tools to parents to help their kids navigate social media and stay safe online. But behind the scenes, your marketers see teens with multiple accounts as unique value propositions. You make money when kids deceive their parents. You make money from these secret accounts. You make money from heightening the metrics that impress the markets, your investors, raise the stock price.
That's not how I would actually characterize the way we build our products. We build our products to provide the best experience for young people. Interestingly, when you mention Finstas, in my engagement with teens, Finstas are not something that we built. They built. They did it to actually provide them themselves with a more private experience, which is one of the things that led us to think about offering them more privacy.
These are private, yes, they are secret, they are secreted from parents so that whatever the tools you may have, parents can't apply them.
Let me go to Instagram CEO, Adam Mosseri, recently saying, and I used his interview in my opening statement, that 13-year-olds are not allowed on Instagram. Is that true?
13-year-olds and above are allowed on Instagram. Under 13-year-olds are not.
But we know that you are doing research on children as young as 8 and are marketing to 8 to 12-year-olds, correct?
If we find an account of someone who's under 13, we remove them. In fact, in the last 3 months, we removed 600,000 accounts of under 13-year-olds.
Okay, so talk to me about how you enforce the policy that under 13 cannot be on Instagram.
Actually, I appreciate that question. So there are a number of different things that we do. We have an age screen when someone tries to join Instagram. If we see someone trying to repeatedly change the date to get past that, we actually will restrict their ability to access the app.
So this is a restriction of the app. Signing up as basically a fake child. This was just a test just the other day. underagegirl11@gmail.com. Hopefully that's not a real email address. Oh, it didn't work. Maybe I'll just put my age as a little bit older. Ah, success. Created an...
We also allow people to report underage accounts even if you're not on Facebook, and we will remove them.
This is the reporting mechanism. If you want to report a child on Instagram, you have to go through all of this process. It's basically nonsensical. Nonsense. Nobody in their right mind is going to do this. Facebook wants to keep under 13-year-olds on their account, on their Facebook platforms. First, it says, we will delete the account if we can't verify the account is managed by someone over 13 years old. And then on the next page, to actually report, it says something completely different. So at first it says, we'll delete it if we can verify that someone over the age of 13 is managing it. But then it is...
Ms. Davis, we now know that Facebook's own research found that Instagram worsens body image issues for 1 in 3 teenage girls. Were you aware of those internal findings before the Wall Street Journal articles came out?
Senator Klobuchar, I'd just like to correctly characterize those findings.
Were you aware of the internal findings before the Wall Street Journal articles came out?
I and my team work on a weekly, maybe even sometimes daily basis.
I'm sorry, I
with
was
our research.
actually asking a polite question. Were you aware? Could you answer yes or no?
Yes, I was.
Facebook was creating a version of Instagram that targeted kids under 13. You announced this week that you are pausing that program. What specific criteria will you use to determine whether to unpause the plan, and who will make that decision?
Thank you, Senator Klobuchar. I think what we intend to do at this point in time is to step back, to talk with more parents, to engage with more policymakers like yourself.
So appreciate, if you were answering the question, I would let you go ahead, but I was asking who will make the decision about whether to unpause the work on developing that program?
In April, Senator Blumenthal and I wrote to CEO Mark Zuckerberg ringing the alarm about Facebook's plan to launch a version of Instagram for kids 12 and under. I'm pleased that Facebook responded to our concerns and is backing down, at least temporarily, from its plans. But a pause is insufficient. Let's be clear. The problem isn't that Instagram hasn't developed a safe product for kids. The problem is Instagram itself. Facebook is just like big tobacco, pushing a product that they know is harmful to the health of young people, pushing it to them early, all so Facebook can make money. IG stands for Instagram, but it also stands for Instagreed. The last thing we should allow Facebook to do is push young kids to use Instagram. Ms. Davis, will you commit that Facebook will not launch any platforms targeting kids 12 and under that includes features such as like buttons and follower accounts that allow children to quantify popularity? Yes or no?
Senator Markey, I'd like to actually take a second to disagree with your comparison. Our products actually add value and offer enrich teens' lives. They enable them to connect with their friends, with their family, and actually during COVID,
I appreciate that.
during the pandemic.
I appreciate that. Will you stop launching? Will you promise not to launch a site that includes features such as like buttons and follower accounts that allow children to quantify popularity? That's a yes or a no.
Senator Markey, those are the kinds of features that we will be talking about with our experts, trying to understand, in fact, what is most age appropriate and what isn't age appropriate. And we will discuss those features with them, of course.
Well, let me just say this. We're talking about 12-year-olds. We're talking about 9-year-olds. If you need to do more research on this, you should fire all the people who you're paid to do your research up until now, because this is pretty obvious, and it's pretty obvious to every mother and father in our country, because all recent scientific studies by child development experts found that not getting enough likes on social media significantly reduces adolescents' feelings of self-worth. Here's another threat to young people on Instagram. The app is full of images and videos of popular influencers who peddle products while they flaunt their lavish lifestyles to users. Ms. Davis, will you commit that Facebook will not launch any platforms targeting kids that host influencer marketing, commercial content that children may be incapable of identifying as advertisements? Yes or no?
They think they can stop Facebook. All these humans here, moving on camera, moving to try and protect against 20 million more child sex abuse reports on Facebook platforms. Do you think they can do it? Do you? We have a lot of people watching. Thank you for everybody commenting. Haya says, no kidding. Diverting, flattering, circular reasoning, anything to avoid giving an actual answer. Sounds like a lawyer gave that response. There's a continued part to that video coming up in just a little bit. Mila says, donate to this awesome nonprofit. Great job, guys. And Summer has donated. Thank you so much, Summer. $6.99. She says she can't give more because she doesn't have a job. But every dollar counts, Summer. Every single dollar. We have Deanna doing some yoga with some rubber bands. I think she found some rubber bands on her asparagus. She's rubber banding it. Greshel! Greshel, where are you? Are you still at the park? Trying to protect children? What do you think? What do you think about these issues? Make sure you comment. You comment below. Henry has some visitors in the background. What are you doing to prevent this from happening? Like these people on screen. You should be doing something. Because if you're not, Facebook will win. Take it from Monster Mark here. We heard earlier from Kristen on the 65 Square team. But there's some more interesting projects that Defend has going on. Who is going to have the best Halloween costume? Best Halloween costume and best Zoom background. Make sure you're voting in the comments section. There's an interesting project Defend has coming up. They just announced it the other day. It is what you could call a podcast. A podcast, a fictional podcast. Henry said that he was a part of it. We're very proud to show you the first 45 seconds of that podcast because it's going to be animated. It's not only going to be found on Apple and Google platforms under the podcast apps, but it's also going to be found on Spotify and here on YouTube. This is a sneak peek as to what is coming up next week when the podcast is launched.
Oh, f you.
Ah, the salty tears of a loser.
I'll get you next time.
Maybe this mature game is just a little too hard for a kid like you.
Oh, geez, you think? But everyone at school plays Warlow.
Maybe you should play with kids your own age. You might be able to have a chance of winning.
You're a wet rag.
Dinner's in 5 minutes.
Oh, but Mom, can't I play just one more game?
Oh, Graham. Go ahead.
Yes, got you.
Well, doesn't that look fun? Good job, Henry and the podcast team. Apparently, it's coming next week. Get the first episode on Apple and Google Podcasts or here on YouTube. You'll be able to see an animated version. 13 fictional episodes diving into a different type of online risk each week. 13 episodes begin next Sunday on Halloween. You people think you can stop this. You people think you can stop 20 million child sex abuse reports.
I've been waiting all year for my Christmas gifts, making a list. Shiny, wrapped up in a bow,
Oh, that seems a little too mainstream there. Let's think a little bit forward. Let's think forward to Christmas, shall we?
dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirit bright. What fun it is to laugh and
Hello everyone, hope you're having a good time at our Magical Movement Tour. I am Maliha and I am the social team co-lead. My motivation for volunteering with Defend comes from a desire to protect youth and those who are most vulnerable. I think that over time, I've come to realize just how odd it is that we teach kids not to talk to strangers, and if someone weird approaches you, you run the other way. But then you have this whole digital world where anyone can contact anyone. And a small child that we are telling not to talk to strangers has access to the exact same people we are trying to get them to avoid. So I think that's super weird, and that definitely needs to change. In the future, I expect to see more awareness and education, perhaps more petitions, and most importantly, I hope to see Defend's impact through age and ID verification. Thank you.
You think you can stop this? You think you can do a little dance for a few hours and this all be over? Do you? Do you think you can stop this? 20,307,000. 20,307,216 child sex abuse reports on Facebook just last year. We have lots of people watching and participating. We just saw a video from Maliha here. She's in her cheerleader outfit, stretching away, trying to prevent child sex abuse reports on Facebook. Aren't you, Maliha?
Hello, everyone, and yes, hope we're having lots of fun here today.
When was the last time you went out trick-or-treating, Maliha?
Oh my goodness, the last time I went trick-or-treating, I was told I was too old, so that would have been like 4 years ago. Anyways, I've never gone after that, but I get my younger sibling to go out and trick-or-treat for me, I guess, so it's a win-win.
Hopefully they do it safely. You're doing great, Maliha. Thank you for joining us.
Trying my best here with slow yoga.
Nothing better than slow yoga. Hello, Paolo.
Hello.
Who are you, Paolo?
Well,
It looks like you're camping.
well, I'm in a tent inside my house.
Oh my gosh. Well, are you going to be moving, dancing, stretching, yoga?
I don't know. I don't know, really. Probably
Well,
no. Probably not.
Well, why have you joined us here then today?
Well, my mom, Ada, she told me there was gonna be fun here, so I joined.
She doesn't know fun.
Well, okay.
Does she? Do moms know fun?
I mean, yeah.
And when she forces you to be in a tent inside your house.
No, I was in the tent.
Oh, you were in the
The
tent.
computer was in the tent. I chose to be in this tent.
I see. It's not a form of slavery.
No, it is not.
I was thinking Ada was going to be joining Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, trying to harm children.
Well, she's not.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You guys that have been going strong for 2 hours have a lot of fans. Kamal says the way you have kept it up for the past 2 hours shows your strength and conviction in so many ways. Very inspiring. I see Henry has changed his outfit a little bit. He's now wearing a Santa's hat. Deanna is going strong still, probably with her asparagus rubber bands. Greg's iPad is doing a stair stepper. Henry is now sporting a Santa hat while doing yoga. I've never seen that before. Make sure you're voting for your favorite costume and favorite Zoom background if you're watching on YouTube. They think they can stop it from happening. Do you think they can stop it? I think it will take a lot more than just these people. These humans here. Greg's iPad has a new contestant. It looks like a creepy witch.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yes. Yes, you were.
I have to get to 20,000.
You guys are counting your steps, are you?
Honey,
Who was that?
Tiffany.
You're counting your steps? How many steps are you at today?
19,200.
Well, in just over 2 hours. Congratulations. Trying to stop
Hey.
child sex abuse reports on Facebook.
Hey, you look good.
Do you think they can have an effect? Do you think they can have an effect? $96,776. Those were the amount of child sex abuse reports on Microsoft platforms last year alone. That's on Xbox and Hotmail. $96,000. Kids looking to play video games. We saw a scene earlier. From Defend's new podcast. Coming up next week. And apparently that is about a video game. And chat on a video game. Let's listen to some more Christmas music and pretend we can stop this.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me two turtles and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me three friends and two turtles and a partridge in a pear tree. Day of Christmas, my true love gave to me four calling birds swinging 6 keeps the lane fine. Golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French bands, 2 turtle doves, and a bird sings in the tree. On the first day of Christmas, my true love came to me. 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids of milk and 7 swans swinging 6 keeps the lane fine. Golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French bands, 2 turtle doves, and a bird sings in the tree. On the last day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords were leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids of milk and 7 swans swinging 6 keeps the lane fine. Golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French bands, 2 turtle doves, and a bird sings in the tree. The 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords were leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids of milk and 7 swans swinging 6 keeps the lane fine. Golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French bands, 2 turtle doves, and a bird sings in the tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords were leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids of milk and 7 swans swinging 6 keeps the lane fine. Golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French bands, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. And a partridge in a pear
It's so magical. This time of year. The time of year when 20 million child sex abuse reports happen on Facebook platforms. And Halloween. Soon to be Christmas. $60 billion in profits on Facebook platforms last year. $60 billion. What are you going to do about it? Haya notes that this evil monster Mark's jolly music taste is a real contradiction to his personality. I'll tell you about contradiction. 60 billion in profits. 60 billion in profits with 20 million in child sex abuse reports. But you gotta admit, it kinda has a good feel to it. Monster Mark is welcoming everyone new just joining our live stream. These people are dancing and moving and exercising to try and protect child sex abuse reports on Facebook. Are they going to succeed? There were 20,307,216 last year alone on Facebook platforms. That includes Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger for Kids. What will you do about this? What will you do to protect children online? You can go on to Defend's website. They're looking to stop this. We have a lot of great people here today. Looking to do the same thing. Paula is turned into the creepy murderer from Scream movies, along with a witch's hat, inside a tent, inside her house. Good for you. Good for you indeed.
My name is Rohit, and I'm one of the committee members at Defend. Basically, what the committee does is it overlooks all of our other teams and tries to support them in any way necessary. Defend is a non-profit organization that is looking to implement age and ID verification on all social media platforms in order to make it safe. Right now, adults can literally talk to anyone they want on social media, whether it's a minor or people from the vulnerable population, and that is not okay. And Defend wants to change that. We do have a hard copy and online petition. The hard copy has already gone to several cities and provinces across Canada and is going to many more. We hope that for the people watching this, we'll spread the word and they'll actually go and sign our petition in person. That is all we want. I hope you enjoyed the Magical Movement Tour and you check us out at HelpUsDefend.com and decide to either volunteer or spread the word. I'm very hopeful that one day age and ID verification will be a thing on all social media platforms, and social media will be a safe and accessible space for everyone around the world. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day.
La 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 la. Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Tell me never gay apparel. Fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us. Fa la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus. Yeah, yeah. Follow me in every measure. While I tell of Yuletide treasure. Fast away the old year passes. Oh, hail the new year, lads and lasses. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. Tis the season to be jolly. Oh, la 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 la. Tell me now our gay apparel. La 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. La 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us. La 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus. Oh, follow me in every measure. While I tell of Yuletide treasure. Fast away the old year passes. Hail the new year, lads and lasses. Joyous together. La la la, la la la, la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather. La la la, la la la, la 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 la. Follow me in every measure. I'll tell your time treasure.
We have more people wanting to join. We have Rana, who has just joined us. She looks like a bloody pirate.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Rana. Why is it that you're joining us here today?
Yes, it's because of my province time. Sorry.
Why is it that you have joined us today?
For protecting children from online child abuse.
Well, so you think you can stop this?
Yes, I try to.
Don't you know there's no trying in baseball? That's a joke, Rana. There's no trying in baseball. That's a joke. Thank you for joining us, Rana.
Thank you for having me.
Earlier, we were talking about 65 Square. A team member from 65 Squares on the line. 2 team members. John Paul and Ada. Ada is part of the administrative assistance team. She is doing an amazing job, and she's wearing a cowgirl hat. Congratulations. We talked a little bit about 65 Square. We showed a video as to what the system is going to be doing. There is another big announcement that we're making here today. We have something special coming from 65 Square. Let's share with them, shall we, Ada?
So one of the problems that we discovered very early on in wanting to make safe online social media is that the login systems are really useless. And we thought to ourselves, we need to reform how it is that we log into social media.
We've been developing this for approximately 6 months now.
And what we've come up with are two separate systems that need to be worked out. The first, we already have worked out. We're going to be licensing it from a third party. I'm not going to get into the technical aspects of it, but generally it's about wanting to remove the ability from someone to put in false information in creating an account on social media. You do that by using specific technology. The second part is probably the easier to understand part of the equation. The technology that probably most people are more familiar with and that we can generally see as something as being very, very strong and gets better over time. Every time you log into the system, we are suggesting artificial intelligence should be used. And by using your camera, something that's readily available to everyone pretty much, you can log in and use artificial intelligence to essentially verify your age, your gender, and make sure your credentials are essentially matching what it is that's on file for your account. Using artificial intelligence, we can essentially remove some of this need for disclosing personal information. What we've built over the last 6 months is a login system that we're very, very proud of. And we're actually packaging it into a standalone app. This standalone app is going to be an age and gender guesser using your camera on your phone, and it will only be guessing these two pieces of data. In a couple weeks, we're going to be releasing the first version on the Apple Store and on the Android Store, the first version of our standalone age and gender guesser. And this is going to be the same technology that we're going to be using to log you into 65 Square when it gets released next year. This is the Android version here being tested by one of our 65 Square developers, and it is just a guess that happens. We're working on this problem very hard to protect not only you, but vulnerable people and children.
They think they can stop child sex abuse reports with a puny little social media app. But who will share child pornography on social media if they're verified? Who will do online bullying if they're verified? Who will try and meet up with children if they're verified on social media? There's a very interesting video clip that we found from Mark Zuckerberg on this one issue. This one issue of people being verified. He was asked about this. Not recently, but he was asked about this in 2005. In 2005, he was asked about people sharing nude images on Facebook.
So, I mean, a lot of the solutions that we come up with stuff aren't technical or organizational, but just applying social pressure in good ways. So, I mean, MySpace has almost a third of their staff is monitoring the pictures that get uploaded for pornography. We hardly ever have any pornography uploaded. And like, I think that a lot of the reason is that people use their real names on Facebook, you know, and your real email address, you know, for school. And like, if you have that, then you're not going to upload pornography, you know? And I think that like, that's a really simple social solution to a possibly complex technical issue, you know? So, I mean, that said, like, we changed some of the features around for high school. So for example, we took parties out because we figured that like parents would get pissed off, or like, it would just like break up all the keg parties really quickly, and that would suck for everyone.
Instagram for kids has been paused. How long will it be paused?
I don't have a specific date, but I do have
13% of British users and 6% of American users trace their desire to kill themselves to Instagram. Have you released the underlying and the entire underlying research behind that?
Actually, Senator, again, I disagree with the characterization of the research in the Wall Street
Have you
Journal.
released the entire
And I
research
also-
behind it? Have you released the research behind it? The entire research.
We've released the two studies
So you've
just
cherry-picked
said,
part of
and
the
I think
research that you think helps your spin right now. So let me ask you, if 6% of American users trace their desire to kill themselves to Instagram, you just said that's not bombshell research. Tell me, what would be bombshell research? If 6% is not, what would be? For one, have you quantified how many children have taken their own lives because of your products?
Causal research of that kind, Senator, requires an extraordinarily long period of time. And in fact, we have made significant investments to understand
Is that a no?
Cause and effect.
Is that a no?
Research. This is not causal research, Senator.
So it's a no. You've done no research to determine how many children have taken their own lives because of Facebook's products.
Do you balance the mental health needs of Americans versus the addictive nature of the products that you sell?
First of all, I don't agree with the characterization.
What don't you agree with, I just said, addictive nature?
So I disagree with calling our product addictive. I also think that's not how we build products.
You don't think your products are addictive in terms of teenagers constantly wanting to be engaged in social media?
Our witness this morning is Frances Haugen. She was the lead product manager on Facebook's civic misinformation team.
Good afternoon, Chairman Blumenthal, Ranking Member Blackburn, and members of the subcommittee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you. My name is Frances Haugen. I used to work at Facebook. I joined Facebook because I think Facebook has the potential to bring out the best in us. But I'm here today because I believe Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken our democracy. The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people. Congressional action is needed. They won't solve this crisis without your help. Yesterday, we saw Facebook get taken off the internet. I don't know why it went down, but I know that for more than 5 hours, Facebook wasn't used to deepen divides, destabilize democracies, and make young girls and women feel bad about their bodies. It also means that millions of small businesses weren't able to reach potential customers. Having worked on 4 different types of social networks, I understand how complex and nuanced these problems are. However, the choices being made inside of Facebook are disastrous for our children, for our public safety, for our privacy, and for our democracy. And that is why we must demand Facebook make changes. During my time at Facebook, first working as the lead product manager for civic misinformation, and later on counter-espionage, I saw Facebook repeatedly encounter conflicts between its own profits and our safety. Facebook consistently resolved these conflicts in favor of its own profits. During my time at Facebook, I came to realize a devastating truth. Almost no one outside of Facebook knows what happens inside of Facebook. The company intentionally hides vital information from the public, from the US government, and from governments around the world. The documents I have provided to Congress prove that Facebook has repeatedly misled the public about what its own research reveals about the safety of children, the efficacy of its artificial intelligence systems, and its role in spreading divisive and extreme messages. I came forward because I believe that every human being deserves the dignity of the truth.
Has Facebook's research, its own research, ever found that its platforms can have a negative effect on children and teens' mental health or well-being?
Many of Facebook's internal research reports indicate that Facebook has a serious negative harm on a significant portion of teenagers and younger and children.
And has Facebook ever offered features that it knew had a negative effect on children's and teens' mental health?
Facebook knows that its amplification algorithms, things like engagement-based ranking on Instagram, can lead children from very innocuous topics like healthy recipes. I think all of us could eat a little more healthy, all the way from just something innocent like healthy recipes to anorexia promoting content over a very short period of time.
And has Facebook ever found, again, in its research, that kids show sign of addiction on Instagram?
Facebook has studied a pattern that they call problematic use, what we might more commonly call addiction. It has a very high bar for what it believes it is. It says you self-identify that you don't have control over your usage and that it is materially harming your health, your schoolwork, or your physical health. 5 to 6% of 14-year-olds have the self-awareness to admit both those questions. It is likely that far more than 5 to 6% of 14-year-olds are addicted to Instagram.
You have said that Facebook should declare moral bankruptcy. I agree.
Yeah.
I think its actions and its failure to acknowledge its responsibility indicate moral bankruptcy.
There is a cycle occurring inside the company where Facebook has struggled for a long time to recruit and retain the number of employees it needs to tackle the large scope of projects that it has chosen to take on. Facebook is stuck in a cycle where it struggles to hire. That causes it to understaff projects, which causes scandals, which then makes it harder to hire. There are reports within Facebook that show cohort analyses where they examine at what ages do people join Facebook and Instagram. And based on those cohort analyses, so Facebook likes to say children lie about their ages to get onto the platform. Mm-hmm. The reality is enough kids tell the truth that you can work backwards to figure out what are approximately the real ages of anyone who's on the platform. When Facebook does cohort analyses and looks back retrospectively, it discovers things like, up to 10 to 15% of even 10-year-olds in a given cohort may be on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay, so this is why Adam Mosseri, who's the CEO of Instagram, would have replied to Jojo Siwa when she said to him, "Oh, I've been on Instagram since I was 8. He said he didn't want to know that.
Yeah.
So it would be for this reason, correct?
A pattern of behavior that I saw at Facebook was that often problems were so understaffed that there was kind of an implicit discouragement from having better detection systems. So for example, I worked, my last team at Facebook was on the counter-espionage team within the threat intelligence org. And at any given time, our team could only handle a third of the cases that we knew about. We knew that if we built even a basic detector, we would likely have many more cases.
And I'm concerned that this algorithms that they have pushes outrageous content, promoting anorexia and the like. I know it's personal to you. Do you think that their algorithms push some of this content to young girls?
Facebook knows that the engagement-based ranking, the way that they pick the content in Instagram for young users, for all users, amplifies preferences, and they have done something called a proactive incident response, where they take things that they've heard, for example, like, can you be led by the algorithms to anorexia content? And they have literally recreated that experiment themselves and confirmed, yes, this happens to people. So Facebook knows that they are leading young users to anorexia content.
Do you think they are deliberately designing their product to be addictive beyond even that content?
Facebook has a long history of having a successful and very effective growth division where they take little tiny tweaks and they constantly are trying to optimize it to grow. Those kinds of stickiness could be construed as things that facilitate addiction.
It's very dangerous. Could you talk more about why engagement-based ranking is dangerous, and do you think Congress should seek to pass legislation like the Filter Bubble Transparency Act that would give users the ability to avoid engagement-based ranking altogether?
Facebook is going to say, you don't want to give up engagement-based ranking. You're not going to like Facebook as much if we're not picking out the content for you. That's just not true. There are a lot of, Facebook likes to present things as false choices, like you have to choose between having lots of spam. Like let's say, imagine we ordered our feeds by time, like on iMessage or on, there are other forms of social media that are chronologically based. They're gonna say, you're gonna get spammed, like you're not gonna enjoy your feed. The reality is that those experiences have a lot of permutations. There are ways that we can make those experiences where computers don't regulate what we see. We together socially regulate what we see. But they don't want us to have that conversation because Facebook knows that when they pick out the content that we focus on using computers, we spend more time on their platform, they make more money. The dangers of engagement-based ranking are that Facebook knows that content that elicits an extreme reaction from you is more likely to get a click, a comment, or reshare. And it's interesting because those clicks and comments and reshares aren't even necessarily for your benefit. It's because they know that other people will produce more content if they get the likes and comments and reshares.
So you and your part of the information you provided the Wall Street Journal, it's been found that Facebook altered its algorithm in an attempt to boost these meaningful social interactions, or MSI. But rather than strengthening bonds between family and friends on the platform, the algorithm instead rewarded more outrage and sensationalism. And I think Facebook would say that its algorithms are used to connect individuals with other friends and family that are largely positive. Do you believe that Facebook's algorithms make its platform a better place for most users, and should consumers have the option to use Facebook and Instagram without being manipulated by algorithms designed to keep them engaged on that platform?
I strongly believe, like I've spent most of my career working on systems like engagement-based ranking. Like when I come to you and say these things, I'm basically damning 10 years of my own work, right? Engagement-based ranking, Facebook says we can do it safely because we have AI. You know, the artificial intelligence will find the bad content that we know our engagement-based ranking is promoting. They've written blog posts on how they know engagement-based ranking is dangerous, but the AI will save us. Facebook's own research says they cannot adequately identify dangerous content, and as a result, those dangerous algorithms that they admit are picking up the extreme sentiments, the division. They can't protect us from the harms that they know exist in their own system.
You said in your opening statement that they know how to make Facebook and Instagram safer. So, thought experiment. You are now the chief executive officer and chairman of the company. What changes would you immediately institute?
I would immediately establish a policy of how to share information and research from inside the company with appropriate oversight bodies like Congress. I would give proposed legislation to Congress saying, here's what an effective oversight agency would look like. I would actively engage with academics to make sure that people who are confirming are Facebook's marketing message is true have the information they need to confirm these things. And I would immediately implement the, quote, soft interventions that were identified to protect the 2020 election. So that's things like requiring someone to click on a link before resharing it, because other companies like Twitter have found that that significantly reduces misinformation. No one is censored by being forced to click on a link before resharing it.
Do you believe that they're actually going to discontinue Instagram Kids, or are they just waiting for the dust to settle?
I would be sincerely surprised if they do not continue working on Instagram Kids, and I would be amazed if a year from now we don't have this conversation again.
Why?
Facebook understands that if they want to continue to grow, they have to find new users. They have to make sure that the next generation is just as engaged with Instagram as the current one. And the way they'll do that is by making sure that children establish habits before they have good self-regulation.
By hooking kids.
By hooking kids. I would like to emphasize one of the documents that we sent in on problematic use examined the rates of problematic use by age, and that peaked with 14-year-olds. It's just like cigarettes. Teenagers don't have good self-regulation. They say explicitly, I feel bad when I use Instagram, and yet I can't stop. We need to protect the kids. When I was in high school, most kids have positive home lives. Like, it doesn't matter how bad it is at school. Kids can go home and reset for 16 hours. Kids who are bullied on Instagram, the bullying follows them home. It follows them into their bedrooms. The last thing they see before they go to bed at night is someone being cruel to them, or the first thing they see in the morning is someone being cruel to them. Kids are learning that their own friends, like people who they care about them, are cruel to them. Like, think about how that's going to impact their domestic relationships when they become 20-somethings or 30-somethings, to believe that people who care about you are mean to you. Facebook knows that parents today, because they didn't experience these things, they never experienced this addictive experience with a piece of technology, they give their children bad advice. They say things like, why don't you just stop using it? And so that Facebook's own research is aware that children express feelings of loneliness and struggling with these things because they can't even get support from their own parents.
When we do ads to young people, there are only 3 things that an advertiser can target around: age, gender, location. We also prohibit certain ads to young people, including weight loss ads. We don't allow tobacco ads at all, meaning to young people. We don't allow them to children. We don't allow them to minors, close quote. Now, since that exchange happened last week, there are a number of individuals and groups, including a group called the Technology Transparency Project, or TTP, that have indicated that that part of our testimony was inaccurate, that it was false. TTP noted that TTP had conducted an experiment just last month, and their goal was to run a series of ads that would be targeted to children ages 13 to 17, to users in the United States. Now, I want to emphasize that TTP didn't end up running these ads. They stopped them from being distributed to users. But Facebook did, in fact, approve them. And as I understand it, Facebook approved them for an audience of up to 9.1 million users, all of whom were teens. So I brought a few of these to show you today. This is the first one I wanted to showcase. This first one has a colorful graphic encouraging kids to, quote, throw a Skittles party like no other, which, as the graphic indicates, and as the slang jargon also independently suggests, this involves kids getting together randomly to abuse prescription drugs. The second graphic displays an anti-tip. That is, a tip specifically designed to encourage and promote anorexia. And it's on there. Now, the language, the anti-tip itself, independently promotes that. The ad also promotes it, insofar as it was suggesting these are images you ought to look at when you need motivation to be more anorexic, I guess you could say. Now, the third one invites children to find their partner online and to make a love connection. You look lonely, find your partner now to make a love connection. Now look, it'd be an entirely different kettle of fish if this were targeted to an adult audience. It is not. It's targeted to 13 to 17-year-olds. Now, obviously, I don't support, and TDP does not support these messages, particularly when targeted to impressionable children. And again, just to be clear, TDP did not end up pushing the ads out after receiving Facebook's approval. But it did, in fact, receive Facebook's approval.
I did not work directly on the ad approval system. What was resonant for me about your testimony is Facebook has a deep focus on scale. So scale is, can we do things very cheaply for a huge number of people, which is part of why they rely on AI so much. it is very possible that none of those ads were seen by a human. And the reality is that we've seen from repeated documents within my disclosures is that Facebook's AI systems only catch a very tiny minority of offending content. And best case scenario, in the case of something like hate speech, at most they will ever get 10 to 20%.
Yes or no, does Facebook have internal research indicating that Instagram harms teens, particularly harming perceptions of body image, which disproportionately affects young women?
Yes, Facebook has extensive research on the impacts of its products on teenagers, including young women.
Thank you for confirming these reports.
As you're aware, and as indeed the documents that you provided indicated, Facebook's, according to the public reporting on it, Facebook's internal reports found that Instagram makes, quote, body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teen girls. And additionally, it showed that, quote, 13% of British users and 6% of American users trace their desire to kill themselves to Instagram.
I only know what I read in the documents that were included in my disclosure. That is an accurate description of the ones that I have read. Because Facebook has not come forward with the total corpus of their known research, I don't know what their other things say, but yes, there is documents that say those things.
So we had testimony last week in the Senate with a witness from Facebook who claimed that information was not accurate and needed to be in context. Now, of course, she wasn't willing to provide the context, the alleged mysterious context. Do you know of any context that would make those data anything other than horrifying and deeply disturbing?
Engagement-based ranking and these processes of amplification, they impact all users of Facebook. The algorithms are very smart in the sense that they latch on to things that people want to continue to engage with. And unfortunately, in the case of teen girls and things like self-harm, they develop these feedback cycles where children are using Instagram as to self-soothe, but then are exposed to more and more content that makes them hate themselves. This is a thing where we can't say 80% of kids are okay. We need to say, how do we save all the kids?
Right now, a lot of parents tell me they feel powerless. They need more information. They're way behind their kids in their adeptness online. And they feel that they need to be empowered in some way to protect their kids in the real world right now in real time. So I offer you that open-ended opportunity to talk to us a little bit about your thoughts.
Very rarely do you have one of these generational shifts where the generation that leads, like parents who guide their children, have such a different set of experiences that they don't have the context to support their children in a safe way. There is an active need for schools or maybe the National Institutes of Health to make established information where if parents want to learn on how they can support their kids, it should be easy for them to know what is constructive and not constructive. Because Facebook's own research says kids today feel like they are struggling alone with all these issues because their parents can't guide them. And one of the things I'm saddest when I look on Twitter is when people blame the parents for these problems with Facebook. They say, just take your kid's phone away. And the reality is those issues are a lot more complicated than that. And so we need to support parents because right now, if Facebook won't protect the kids, we at least need to help the parents to protect the kids.
What is it about Facebook's tactics of hooking young people that makes it similar to what Big Tobacco has done?
Facebook's own research about Instagram contains quotes from kids saying, I feel bad when I use Instagram, but I also feel like I can't stop, right? I know that the more time I spend on this, the worse I feel, but like I just can't, like that they want the next click, they want the next like, the dopamine, the little hits all the time. And I feel a lot of pain for those kids, right? Like they say they fear being ostracized if they step away from the platform. So imagine you're in this situation, you're in this relationship where every time you open the app, it makes you feel worse, but you also fear isolation if you don't. I think there's a huge opportunity here to make social media that makes kids feel good, not feel bad, and that we have an obligation to our youth to make sure that they're safe online.
Ms. Hogan, can you explain how allowing these features that create an online popularity contest makes Facebook more money?
Just to make sure, so I am only familiar with issues regarding teens from the research I have read of Facebook's. So I want to put that caveat in there. The research I have seen with regard to quantifiable popularity is that as long as comments are allowed, so this is not a quantitative thing, this is just comments, as long as comments are still on posts on Instagram, just taking likes off Instagram doesn't fix the social comparison problem. That, teenage girls are smart. They see that Sally is prettier than them. Her pictures are really good. She gets tons of comments. They don't get very many comments, right? And so I do think we need larger interventions than just removing quantitative measures. Facebook has a product that is very attractive. The reason why they have the study of problematic use is because it is kind of addictive. And those kinds of things, like having lots of little feedback loops, keeps kids engaged. And like I mentioned earlier, part of why Facebook switched over to meaningful social interactions was it found that if you got more likes, more comments, more reshares, you produced more content. And so having those systems of little rewards makes people produce more content, which means we view more content and we view more ads, which makes them more money.
Damn you people! Damn you! At least I got my money. At least I got my money. You guys alive out there? Monster Mark has got a problem. You guys need to stay active. Stop this horrible problem. We heard from several people here at Defend. Another person on the 65 Square team wants to say hello. Well, you guys keep dancing.
Hello, I'm Alex Demers, and I'm currently a volunteer for Defend. I'm currently working on the Unity team for 65 Square. I believe that their goal of making social media safer for children is an admirable one, and I'm happy to work with them to achieve that goal. Since joining, I've met a ton of developers and like-minded people and talented individuals who are passionate about what they do, and I'm glad to be working alongside of them. Since joining, I've gained tons of experience and skills and tools that I would not have otherwise, and I'm continuing to further myself as a developer. I'm hoping that this will be a helpful step in my career path as a game developer, while also working towards an admirable goal, and I I'm glad to continue working with Defend while they try to make social media safer for children.
Thank you, Alex. I don't think he'll be joining me in the slammer. What about you guys? Anybody looking for more child sex abuse reports? No? We've got about 40 minutes left, and you guys are doing great. some of your comments on YouTube. Yes, Paula's getting in the spooky spirit. Rana, you look amazing. So cool, says Kamal. Rana is amazing. When a company's own employee speaks against them, it says a lot, says Haya. And money won't keep you warm at night, Monster Mark. But it makes a good pillow. Summer says, yeah, keep it up, guys. Thanks for sharing your costumes and passion. I guess you guys are pretty determined. It's been 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. There is 30 minutes left to go. Some pretty exciting things Defend is doing. "65 Square, Dark Side of the Web, the podcast, and a standalone app. Coming very soon. Greshel, are you still alive? We haven't seen you at the park yet. In the last hour, you were circling around the park. Greshel, did you make it out of the park? Did all the kids throw sand at you?
Joy to the world come, with grace receive the King, with every heart preparing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing.
I think this lady is supposed to be a ghost. A ghost with a mustache? A transgendered ghost? Not that there's anything wrong with that. You guys should feel good about yourselves. You're probably doing good. We can only hope. We haven't heard from Greshel. I think he might be dead. Greshel? Are you still alive? He ran like 40 laps around that park. Diego has joined. And he appears to be playing some piano. I wonder if he's just pretending to play the piano or actually playing the piano. Yeah, this is my jam. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you, Diego. Everybody. Warming my heart a little bit. Thank you for sharing some of your talent, Diego. What a talented family. We have just one more message from you from one of Defend's longest members. Here is Romaine.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Magical Movement Tour, a fundraiser organized by Defend. My name is Romaine, I am the chair of the committee, and this fundraiser is just important to me because it allows for Defend to be on the map. It allows for our name to be spread, our organization to be known, for people to know our vision, our mission, our goals, and what Defend seeks to obtain in regards to social activism for online protection of children. my desired outcome for this fundraiser is that people have fun, whether it's through running on the spots, whether it's through just sitting there and us admiring your cool Zoom background. I want everyone to have fun, but I also want everyone to just continue to spread awareness about online protection for children and more of Defend's value and mission and goal. So I hope that you have fun and see you soon.
Thank you, Romaine. We are getting down to the home stretch here. And we're looking to protect children and vulnerable people online by moving around on camera like crazy people. I think I missed one of our testimonials. Hiya, El Chami. Thank you so much for your donation. We are getting down to the final stretch here. And we missed one of Defend's 65 Square team members. This is David.
Hi, my name is David. I'm an augmented reality developer. I'm living currently in Bogota, and I am a volunteer at Defend because I think a safe childhood means a better society for tomorrow.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody who has been watching, who has been participating, who has been dancing. Henry is a crazy, crazy dancer. Henry, thank you for sharing your dancing with us. And your exercise moves. Yeah, yogaing a little bit there, go. If you are watching this at a later time and you can't donate the money here on YouTube at that time, but what you can do is you can go to Defend's website, HelpUsDefend.com, and you can donate there. That link will be in the description box below. Diego is still playing the piano. He should share some of that. That was awesome, Diego. Here is the final tally for everyone wondering how much money we raised today for Defend. Want to thank everyone who contributed any dollar, any cent to try and protect children online. We are having fun. We've got about 7 more minutes left. What can you do to try and protect children online?
You better hang up that mistletoe. I'm on my way through the snow. Hitch a ride on a sleigh, whatever it takes. There's no holding me back. I need to get to you real fast. Christmas wouldn't be the same. Oh, I just gotta say, you bring out the holly jolly me. Oh, you're all I need. It's Christmas. We won't be going outside, no way. Stay cozy by the fireplace. Printed papers and bowls, silver and gold, excitement in the air. So happy to be with you, my dear. Christmas wouldn't be the same. Oh, I just gotta say, you bring out the holly jolly me. Oh, you're all I need. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. You bring out the holly jolly me. Oh, you're all I need. It's Christmas. You're all I need. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Jolly, jolly. Oh, you bring out the holly jolly me.
Woo! Diego, do you got one more song for us to take us out? One more song in 1 minute. Thank you to everyone. You guys have warmed my heart. From Monster Mark to jail. Thank you, everyone, for warming my heart a little bit, for trying to protect children online, but it's going to take a lot more work than this. You need to talk to your family and friends about these kinds of issues. You need to spread the awareness. You need to educate people in your community, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. You need to talk to people about how kids and vulnerable people are not safe online. You need to do this, or else we're gonna have 20 more million child sex abuse reports next year. And I hope that that's not something that you want. I hope. Thank you, Greg, and your ghouly wife there, Paolo, Rana, Ada, Rachel, Maria, Henry, Romaine, everyone that donated, Mohid, everyone that commented. Hiya, thank you for the donation. Summer, thank you for the donation. Thank you for everyone that donated to participate today. and that is here to spread awareness about the risks online for vulnerable people. We will see you next time, probably at Christmas, playing like, St. Patty's Day music. I'm pretty sure.
You're on mute.
Thank you, Diego. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining our live stream today. Congratulations to everybody that completed. Congratulations, everyone, for staying so active on our live stream today. And make sure to go to HelpUsDefend.com for more. Have yourself a wonderful Christmas, everyone, and Halloween too.